Welcome to this explainer. Look, applying to a UK university brings a mix of incredible excitement and, let's be totally honest here, a healthy dose of dread. It's a lot. But today, we're cutting straight through the noise. We are breaking down the entire UCAS system, highlighting the exact pitfalls you need to avoid, and giving you the ultimate step-by-step roadmap to secure your spot. But before we get into the mechanics of it all, let's establish the stakes right out of the gate. 5. That is the absolute maximum number of course choices you get for your undergraduate application. Think about that. There are thousands of brilliant courses across hundreds of universities in the UK, but you have to narrow your entire academic future down to just 5 selections. Every single choice matters, and that is exactly why understanding this system inside and out is absolutely crucial. So, what actually is this system? Meet UCAS, the Universities and Colleges Admission Service. It's basically the centralized, nonprofit gateway for all UK undergraduate applications. Whether you're a domestic student living right in London or an international student applying from halfway across the globe, you literally cannot bypass it. Mastering this single platform is mandatory, guys, because it is the one and only bridge between you and your UK university degree.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the gateway to UK universities. Second, inside the application format. Third, nailing the personal statement. Fourth, critical deadlines to remember. And finally, after you hit submit.
Let's kick things off with Part 1, the gateway to UK universities. For the 2026 entry cycle, your magic number is £35.81. That's the single, flat application fee. In the past, it used to be that you'd pay different fees depending on how many choices you made, but thankfully, the whole system has been streamlined. Now, this one flat fee covers your entire application cycle, letting you apply for up to your 5 choices. And honestly, this is a great example of the system pushing for better accessibility. Because if you're an eligible student who has received UK government-funded free school meals at any point during secondary education, there's a fee waiver available. That means you can apply completely free of charge.
Moving right along the Part 2, inside the application format.
A massive online form can be pretty intimidating, right? But let's break this down into really manageable, bite-sized chunks. Step 1 is literally just creating your account. Easy. Step 2 covers your personal details. Now, quick pause. If you are an international student, you must carefully note your residency status and nationality here. It's a huge deal because it affects your fee classification and future visa requirements. Step 3 is your educational history. You've got to list all your qualifications, and yes, that includes the pending ones, where you're still nervously waiting on grades. Step 4 is an optional employment history section, which is a great place to flex any relevant work experience. And Step 5, that's where you finally plug in those maximum 5 course choices. Keep the momentum going. Step 6 is your personal statement, which we're going to unpack in just a second. Step 7 is your academic reference. You are going to need a reference, usually from a teacher, maybe a head of sixth form or an academic advisor, before you can even hit submit. UCAS will actually contact them directly using the info you provide. Step 8 is your careful review. Check for typos, check those course codes, and Step 9 is paying that $35.81 fee and officially submitting your application into the digital ether. But hold on, before we move on, we really need to talk about some incredibly strict rules regarding those 5 choices. You don't want to mess this up. First, if you're applying for highly competitive programs, we're talking medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, or vet science, you are capped at a maximum of 4 choices for those subjects. You have to use your 5th choice for a different related subject. Second rule, you can apply to Oxford or Cambridge. You cannot apply to both in the same cycle. You have to pick a side. And finally, if you completely fall in love with one university and decide to apply to 2 different courses there, just know that each course counts as a separate choice against your total of 5.
All right, let's jump to Part 3, nailing the personal statement.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that it's arguably the most scrutinized piece of your application. And there is a massive update for 2026. Forget the old, giant, open-ended essay you might have heard older students stressing out about. UCAS has officially moved to a much more targeted 3-question format. Question 1, why do you want to study this course or subject? Question 2, how have your qualifications and studies helped you prepare? And question 3, what else have you done to prepare outside of your education? This is actually fantastic for you. It gives you a super clear structure to show them exactly why you're the perfect fit. But here is the catch. Brevity is absolutely key. You are working with a strict, immovable limit of 4,000 characters total across all 3 of those answers combined, and yes, that includes spaces. To put that into perspective, it's roughly the length of a long social media caption. You also have a minimum requirement of 350 characters per answer, so you have to be incredibly concise. You literally cannot afford to waste a single word. Every sentence has to pack a punch and prove your passion for the course.
Moving into part 4, critical deadlines to remember. I cannot emphasize this enough, guys. The most brilliant application in the world means absolutely nothing if you miss these immovable signposts. Let's walk through the chronological timeline for the 2026-27 cycle. In early September 2026, the gates open. You can officially submit completed applications. Now pay extremely close attention to October 15th, 2026. That's the early deadline, and it is strictly for Oxford, Cambridge, and most medicine, dentistry, and vet courses. If that's your path, you must hit that date. For the vast majority of other undergrad courses, your main deadline is January 14th, 2027. Miss that? And you do have until June 30, 2027 to submit late applications. And finally, in July 2027, the clearing process opens up.
Now, you might be wondering, why is that January 14th deadline so incredibly vital if late applications are accepted all the way until June? 2 words: equal consideration. If your application, and that includes your academic reference, is submitted by January 14th, it is absolutely guaranteed to be reviewed equally alongside every other on-time application. After that date, universities shift to a first-come, first-served model. If a course fills up with the folks who applied on time, they won't even glance at your late application. So please, hit that deadline. And that brings us to our final section, part 5, after you hit submit. All right, so you've hit submit. What actually happens next? Well, if universities want you, they're going to send one of 2 types of offers directly to your UCAS hub. The most common one you'll see is a conditional offer. This means, hey, we are reserving a spot for you, but it's entirely subject to you achieving specific grades in your upcoming exams, or maybe hitting a certain score on an English test if you're an international student. An unconditional offer, on the other hand, is exactly what it sounds like. The place is yours right now, no further academic conditions attached. Boom. Once all your universities have replied, the ball is firmly back in your court. You have to select one firm choice. This is the dream scenario, your absolute top preference. But just in case results day doesn't quite go as planned and you don't meet the grades for your firm choice, you also select an insurance choice. This is your backup offer, which usually has slightly lower grade requirements just to act as a safety net. Any other offers you received, you've got to officially decline them. But look, what if things just go totally sideways? What if mid-August rolls around, it's results day, and you miss the grades for both your firm and insurance choices? We all know results day anxiety is incredibly real, but do not panic. The system actually has built-in safety nets. UCAS clearing opens in July and really ramps up on results day, giving students without offers a chance to apply for courses that still have open spots. There's also something called UCAS Extra, opening in late February, which lets you add one extra choice at a time if you've used all 5 original choices and are sitting there with 0 offers. Point is, you are never out of options. And there you have it. We've decoded the system, mapped out the timeline, and laid out the exact rules you need to follow. The roadmap is right in front of you. Now it's up to you to take action. Dive into your research, start brainstorming that personal statement, and ask yourself this one final really exciting question. Which of the 5 courses will define your future? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and best of absolute luck on your UCAS journey. You've got this.
Applying to UK universities? Take a free practice test on Edrizz and build your application profile with confidence.